I'm going to say something that most of the population will disagree with, but not drinking alcohol is actually easy. Not only is it easy, but it's probably the easiest thing I've ever done. And this is despite struggling for almost 10 years. But if you actually think of the act of not drinking, all you do is you just don't do this with a drink with alcohol in it. It's not really hard to get your head around. It's not like building a spaceship. It's pretty damn simple. You just don't drink. But why do so many of us struggle? Why did I struggle for 10 years? If everybody else found it easy, then nobody would watch my channel, other stop drinking channels, there'd be no books out there, there'd be no AA meetings, because the harsh reality is most people don't find it easy. Most people find it hard. But through stopping and starting drinking myself for almost 10 years and not drinking a drop of alcohol for 6 years and working with over 400 clients in my coaching program, which is if you go to soberclear.com, you can learn more about how we work with business owners and professionals, helping them to stop drinking. But through all of this time and work and stuff that I've done, I discovered why. And it really boils down to 3 things. There are 3 things that make stopping drinking difficult, but actually these 3 things are incredibly easy to overcome. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to unpack each of these 3 things. And not only am I going to unpack them, but I'm going to give you concrete steps on how to destroy each of these 3 obstacles. So you can also get to the end of this video and say, do you know what? He was right. Stopping drinking is easy. Now, just before we get into the video, if you want to get access to a free video training that shows you a new method to get in control of your drinking in as little as 48 hours, click the link in the description and put in your name and email address. This is a different training video that I don't publish anywhere else online. The only way you can access it is clicking the link in the description and putting in your details. But that will show you the quickest way to get in control of your drinking that's not related to AA, willpower, therapy, rehabs. It's something completely different. You'll have never seen anything like it before. So click the link down below. Watch that video after this one, but now let's unpack those 3 things. Now, I do urge you to check that video out because that video is more about reframing alcohol, and that's what the foundation of everything I teach is built upon. But let's just say you've made some progress, you've already kind of, getting your head around things, you've reframed alcohol, you're starting to see it a different way. Well, the very first thing that stops most people from stopping drinking is boredom. I've heard this countless times. People get on a phone call, they're interested in stopping drinking, they actually want to work with me directly, they want my help, and they say, well, Leon, if I don't drink alcohol, how am I going to have a good time? I'm going to be bored stiff. What am I going to do at the weekends with my evenings? If my wife wants to go out for dinner, it's going to be boring. And the problem with this is that most people's dopamine receptors have become completely fried because of alcohol. They've stopped finding pleasure in learning new things, in hobbies, in exercise, in building their business. A lot of people that stop drinking, they've stopped finding pleasure in this because they've now found this very easy source of dopamine, which is alcohol. And the sad thing is that most people that stop drinking are addicted to this short-term gratification, these hits that they get from drinking this drug, which is all nothing more than drug addiction. And the only way through this drug addiction is removing the drug and resetting your dopamine. If you think how crazy it is, right? We have been built to build things, to create value in the world, to help each other out. We've been built to derive dopamine from being somebody of value. Yet companies like social media companies, video game companies, drug companies, aka alcohol, nicotine, all these things, they're basically hijacking your brain to want this instant hit of dopamine. And these companies do not care if you reach your dream in your life. They don't care. If you have a goal for your life of being in great shape, of making a ton of money, the companies don't care because they also have the same goal and you're the customer. They want to hook you on this instant gratification. But the only way through this boredom is removing alcohol from your life and resetting your baseline. And what we must do is we must get our dopamine from working on long-term goals. So for example, today, I've not gone on my phone once and instead I'm making these videos, which is hard to do. It's much easier for me to go and sit and play a video game or watch a movie or play on my phone. But because I've not done that, doing this is actually enjoyable for me today. I'm actually having a great time making videos because I've removed an instant source of dopamine. I haven't touched it. It's like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. And I have not touched anything that has some kind of instant release of dopamine. And when you're stopping drinking alcohol, you must actually be okay with being bored. What you don't want to do is start looking for instant releases when you're not drinking. And we must start deriving pleasure from working on our long-term goals. Anyway, the second reason why it's so difficult for a lot of people to stop drinking is down to their relationships. Again, some people are going to be worried that they're not going to be able to connect with their partner. Maybe their sex life isn't going to be as good. Maybe their dating life isn't going to be as good. For some people, they're worried about how are their friends going to start coming to terms with this new them. And here's the sad thing. Their there probably will be people in your life that you'll interact with after stopping drinking, and they won't see eye to eye with your decision. See, what ends up happening is your decision to stop drinking alcohol basically shines a light on what they're doing. So a lot of people, when they hear that you're stopping drinking, they don't really want to hear that. See, most drinkers in their heart know that what they're doing is stupid. Whatever justification or rationalization they come up with, most of us know in our heart that drinking alcohol is not a good idea. And here's the thing is, you might need to be okay with getting rid of some relationships. Listen, I know if it's a wife, if it's a partner, a parent, or something like that, you might just need to start setting firm boundaries with those individuals. But when I stopped drinking alcohol, I had to cut a lot of people away. A lot of people did not support my decision. They kind of put their nose up like, oh yeah, here we go again. Guess what? I've got no time for that. So we've got to come to terms with this idea that we might need to shed some relationships. We might need to start being a bit more selfish, putting ourselves first, which is totally okay. Which leads me to the third and probably the biggest thing of all. But if you don't reframe the way that you view alcohol, I can almost guarantee that this one's going to trip you up. See, reframing alcohol is the most important thing, because if you don't change your perception and you get a thought of drinking alcohol, what do you think is going to happen? Well, that thought leads into another thought and another thought and another thought, and eventually these thoughts start becoming cravings. And this is the third thing that trips most people up. It's cravings. See, if you've reframed the way that you view alcohol, what ends up happening is you get these thoughts of alcohol, you get these little glimpses and these little ideas of, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a drink? But instead of following that thought, you instantly switch it. You're like, okay, I'm thinking about alcohol, but why on earth would I want to drink that poisonous drug that did nothing for me? See, thoughts will come. Everybody that stops drinking alcohol will get thoughts of alcohol. It's the society that we live in, right? We're going to go to a bar, we're going to hang out with a friend, we're going to see alcohol in a store, we're going to watch some movie and see somebody, our favorite character drinking some kind of drink, and those thoughts are going to come. And if you don't reframe how you view alcohol, you'll follow that thought, and then all of a sudden you will feel like you're missing out. See, I don't care how successful somebody is, how much I admire somebody, how much I like somebody. Listen, they could make great decisions in their life, but no matter who that person is, if I see them drink any amount of alcohol, I will instantly feel sorry for them. It doesn't matter who they are, because nobody can influence me to change my mind with alcohol. I am 100% bulletproof that alcohol adds nothing to anybody's life at all. All it does is take things away. It takes away your health, your relationships, your money. It does nothing for you. So whenever I get a thought of drinking alcohol, it's instant. I'm like, whoa, no thank you. Now again, if you want help reframing how you view alcohol so you don't get cravings, so it feels like somebody flicks a switch in your brain, you've got to click the link in the description and watch that video training. It will blow you away. But I know it sounds hard to believe, but I don't get alcohol cravings because I don't want to drink. And if you click the video on the screen right now, you can learn why everybody is stopping drinking alcohol. Have a great day.